In part 2, we're going to be hearing from the Campus Kitchen at Minnesota State University Mankato and their Groove program. So today we're going to be hearing from Mara and Karen. And Mara is a sophomore, and she began her involvement with the Campus Kitchen through the garden there during her freshman year of college. So whenever you guys are ready, you can go ahead and start.
Okay, so my name is Mara Supir, and I'm here with Karen Anderson, and I'm the Co-Bank Rural Hunger Fellow working for the Campus Kitchen at Minnesota State University Mankato. I began my work in February of 2015 to continue my role as the Hunger Fellow funded by this grant until November of 2015. And at that time, GROOVE, which is the name of our gardening program, and that stands for Gardening Rural Outreach Opportunity Volunteers. That will fall under the direction of one of our other volunteer student leaders, and I will continue my work with Campus Kitchens on a student leadership team working specifically with education and outreach. So on our next slide, we can take a look at our gardens. As stipulated by the grant, we have two different types of gardens. We have our raised bed, which sits at about 4 feet off from the ground and is 6 feet by 3 feet and is about a foot deep, as well as a container garden, which consists of about 12 pots. And these pots come in 3 different sizes. We have some that are 32 inches across, some that are 16 inches across, and then a few that are like a wooden trough shape that are 32 inches by 6 inches, and they're about a foot deep as well. Our 3 raised beds are located at our on-campus location on the lawn of a building called Crossroads Lutheran Campus Ministry, which also houses our Campus Kitchens operations in the basement of the building. So this building not only allows us to keep our raised beds there, but also allows us the use of 3 of their own window planters. Our container gardens are located at our off-campus location on the front lawns of the Welcome Inn and Teresa House in downtown Mankato. The plants that we grow, on slide 3, we have a couple pictures. We have an array of produce in our gardens. First and foremost is our tomatoes. We received a large donation of them in July, which nearly doubled the current plant count, so they take up a majority of our space. We also have beans, peppers, carrots, cilantro, lettuce, radishes, and squash. And we also had a few plants that didn't quite take hold, but we tried, like peas, cucumbers, and onions. And then we have our team. We have a couple pictures on the next slide. So of course we have a variety of volunteers who come and go, but our main unit of operations of 4 individuals. There's myself as the Hunger Fellow, Karen Anderson, who is our grant lead, and she works as the interim assistant director of community engagement, and part of her job at the university is to run our campus kitchens. Then there's Nathan Stussy. He's the graduate advisor for community engagement office and campus kitchen at MSU Mankato, and he was hired in June of 2015. He's an excellent resource for our gardens, and he helps with a lot of volunteer events as well as maintenance of our on-campus location. And then there's Haley Gorman, who is our volunteer coordinator. She works a lot with organizing our online forums, data entry, and she will actually become the director of GROOVE on the Campus Kitchen student leadership team. So there was a lot of lessons that we learned from this, what we frequently called our experimental year. We walked in with a lot of ambitions and dreams, which is good, but we quickly realized a few things. First is that you can only grow foods that your kitchen can prepare. For example, foods that can be served raw or easily tossed together with recovered foods, because our kitchen does not actually have a stove. We have a burner, but it trips the circuit breakers every time we try to use it, so we have a microwave. If you don't have a huge staff, it's better to grow foods that do not need a lot of attention to prepare. Also, we utilized a drip hose system in our raised beds that saves our garden and campus kitchen volunteers a lot of time, especially when they're the same person. The community is definitely interested in what we are doing, so saying hi and not being afraid to ask children, especially if they would like to help. One of my most memorable experiences this summer was when 2 young girls staying at the Teresa House helped me water our gardens. Along the way, they would ask me what every plant was, and when we came to the tomatoes, instead of telling them that they were tomatoes, I told them to smell the plant, and they thought that was kind of odd, but they did it. And pretty soon they were telling me what plants were tomatoes and what were not by giving them a good whiff. And it was kind of a good experience because it was profound in the sense that something so simple as smelling a plant, I mean, we had taken it for granted because we had been exposed to this. And that kind of segues into our next slide, the education and the outreach. From the very beginning, we have been very focused on that next step. You know, what we do beyond providing this fresh and nutritious food for our campus kitchen clientele. There are numerous programs and activities already in progress on our campus as well as within the Mankato community. So we just really reached out and grabbed a hold of them. You know, on campus, every year our honors program hosts a campus common read that encourages all students and community members to read a common book, and then there are discussions, speakers, movies, and other various events on campus throughout the year, both fall and spring semester, that encourage students, faculty, and community members to speak, learn, and really go out with main themes from the book. This year the read is The Good Food Revolution by Will Allen, and it's really fitting with our own main themes and goals. So we've really been collaborating with that program on discussion events, a Hunger Awareness Week, as well as on educational materials. You know, off campus, we've been invited to a few opportunities, such as speaking with an elderly disabilities group with the Mankato Rehabilitation Center Incorporated, also known as MRCI. We were able to talk not only about our version of community gardening, but really to emphasize the difference between our program and others, you know, that essential next step. We were also involved in a community program called Cops and Bobbers, where local law enforcement take children fishing at a local park not far from our own campus every Wednesday during the summer. Campus Kitchens donated sack lunches for these kids every other week, consisting of fresh produce, recovered sandwiches and desserts, and educational games, quizzes, and surveys. And we've also tabled at the Art in the Park event at Wheeler Park in Mankato in August. We journeyed to Georgia and Washington, D.C. for Food Recovery Network and Boot Camp, and we've been highlighted in a few publications over this past summer. You know, one was a front page article featuring the gardens in the local newspaper called the Free Press. You know, we were also mentioned in another front page article about the Campus Common Read, and our Hunger Fellow and Grant Lead were in a commercial about Minnesota State University featuring our work as members of a community of food activists. So we just have been talking about this next step, but what is our next step? So on the next slide, we have a few examples. We have further collaborative efforts planned with other clubs on campus. You know, screenings of videos like Just Eat It that pertain to various aspects of food awareness, and we're working to bring other educational programs to our campus. You know, one project we have in the works is our Plates Project, where we plan to have a placemat at a seat at each table in our dining hall during our Hunger Awareness Week, and on each setting will be a statistic about hunger and food awareness. We have a chili cook-off plan for November 17th, where there will be a participation fee of a $1 canned good to benefit Campus Kitchens, and after that is our annual Food Access Summit in our ballroom, and just other things like this. And as we come together with our Campus Kitchen student leadership team, we are planning other activities. So just in conclusion, we would just like to thank the Campus Kitchens Project on behalf of Groove and Campus Kitchens here at Minnesota State University Mankato for this wonderful opportunity to expand and diversify our program, to grow within our community, and to learn more about food ourselves. So thank you.
Great, thank you so much.